So as we talked about before, as an analyst, the one of the first places you're going to come look is going to be one of the two scorecards, either user scorecard or host scorecard. Um, so using the same example we talked about earlier, we'll look at Christine Dowler, who we said was our CFO. And first thing I'm going to want to do is really dig into the details of these events. So what we allow you to do is pivot directly from the screen into what we call the scorecard events, or the actual details of the alerts behind the scenes. So in here, you'll get all the information of where did the user come from. We can see, okay, here, what network are they logged into? In here, we get the information about, for the Okta login attempt, what app were they trying to log into? Where did they try to log in from? We have the details on the domain that matched in the recorded future event. So it makes it very clear for you to get all of the context of what went on for these different events for a particular user very quickly. We also allow you to drill down into what we call mega search. A mega search is going to be all of the information about this particular user and the host name related to these events. So what this allows you to do is pull in information from Active Directory and populate in any sort of information about their title, who their manager is, any of their AD groups they're in, any information that really helps you as an analyst quickly decide what actions you need to take. We also provide the same information for the particular host name. So we can tell you what operating system is on there, what groups it belongs to within Active Directory, and really giving you the full picture of your events. We also show you related identities. So what this is really helpful for is if you start to see any sort of lateral movement, you have this picture that's drawn out for you of what systems and what identities they went and touched. As we scroll down here a little bit further, we give you the full picture of their scores across the host and user scorecard entries, and a little bit more about the identities and the information that populated in that identities. So we can see here that Christine Dowler did in fact log into LP002 and what IP address she had at the time. So this is really used to fill in some of the blanks as you're going through an investigation of the user and host involved. And then if you really want to get into the details of the actual events for identities, as we showed earlier, you can come into the identity drill down and see the specific login and authentication events related to that identity. So we can see we had some Okta logins from 86, 86, 86, 86. And then we can shift over and see, okay, now this is their internal IP address of 10.10.110 from this host. So really building out that full picture of the identity and following them throughout your environment. Another thing I want to show you guys is we do have a lot of documentation outside of the system, but built directly into this app. We do provide you with some documentation to help get you started on how do you actually build out a different case search and use that identity to populate in information. So as we talked about earlier with the not needing SIM compliance, what we allow you to do is use very simple macros to populate in the information needed and really give you that full picture and full mapping of events that we talked about earlier. And then the last thing I will jump over to is talking about a little bit of our flexible scoring. So lots of different events in here and very easy for you to come in here as a user and set the score for your different events coming in. So for instance, in this case, If we have a console login without MFA, we really want to bubble that up to the top. So we give that a higher score of 60. So it really makes it easy for you to set and customize this environment to what you want to see. You can even see we have a few examples that maybe we don't care that the event happened on its own, but maybe it adds some additional context. So we want to actually give it a score of 0. It doesn't affect the overall score, but add some additional context when we see it with some other events around it.